A plant can live the energy of a deity. This is again the Siddha wisdom. So if you want to have Ganesha, to come in contact with Ganesha, you have to use this Durva grass. Durva grass, I just went and looked for it in the US because I wanted to do a fire ritual, and then this Durva grass was not available on the 14th moon. But then I found it is also called the Bermuda grass, and then I went to the store here in San Diego, and then I couldn't get the leaves, but I got the Bermuda grass seeds, and then I used it in the fire ritual. Again, fire ritual is not. I call fire rituals now fire labs. I started calling it a few years ago because it's a laboratory, and in the laboratory we can access this garden, and I have done some videos also on the science behind the fire labs. So what I'm trying to convey to you is that it is a science. And again, to go back to the six heads of Muruga, who is involved in the story also, the six heads, Muruga, represent the six parts of the brain. And similarly, the four heads of Brahma and the five heads of Shiva are also a representation of the anatomy of the brain. So many in 1985, I think I made a presentation on the five heads of Shiva, representing the five parts of the brain, and in a science and religion conference in Pittsburgh. And it was well received, and then since then I have been interested in that, but although I have not done anything up until now. So the headedness have something to do with the anatomy of the brain. And so we cannot simply consider these stories of gods and goddesses as simple stories or mythologies, but they represent a higher truth. But Joseph Campbell would say, I agree with him also, that there are many layers for a myth. A myth can simultaneously be interpreted in different ways, and all of them uh, are very valid. But as a phenomenologist, I think it's important for me to talk about the phenomenon of Ganesha. One story that comes to my mind about Ganesha and his wisdom is the one day there was a woman in Tamil. What's her name? Avvaiyar. She's a Tamil uh, poet, and she was very hastily doing a puja for Ganesha. And Ganesha appeared before her and said, "Why are you in a hurry?" Because she said, "There's this saint uh, Sundara who is going into heaven today to Kailash, and I have been invited, and so I'm going to go. So I don't want to be late for the event, and so that I'm rushing." He said, "Don't worry about it, and I will make sure that you reach there before anybody reaches there." And he accomplished that also, because he's also a god who knows how to manipulate time. So he's also relevant for time management because the gods live uh, at different time than we do. We live on the earth plane, subjecting ourselves to slow time. So it's important that we understand the mythologies not simply as stories, uh, but as phenomenon. And then if there is ample evidence to prove that uh, these gods and goddesses, angels, and so forth are real. They can be contacted. They can be part of your life on a daily basis. And recently, what I did when I just revealed the 14th, the significance of the 14th moon and Ganesha, I just made an announcement. I just want to test this, some of the rituals we are doing to access Ganesha, and please send me a feedback. And then we have gotten a few feedback, and then if properly worshipped with proper timing and proper herbs. Herbs are very important. So, also, I have asked my lab. I have a small lab that does research on herbs and trying to identify molecules at a preliminary level. They are not very big in any sense. And then one thing I told them that to look at two herbs because they will be very helpful for humanity. And one is this the Dharba grass or the Bermuda grass, which is Ganesha's grass. And already the research that have been carried out on this grass have uh, revealed that this herb Ganesha herb can do a lot of miracles in the health arena. So is this Agastya herb also. So one of the claims which I have found it to be correct is that the herbs, as attributed to uh, different gods and goddesses, because each god or goddess has his or her own plant, and that plant represents the same energy. So one thing that I hypothesize is that unless they have the Ganesha will give us preeminence and alter our intelligence, our brain in a significant way.